What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Bruce, this is What's Popping, and in today's video we're going to be chatting about some awesome pops that I picked up at a recent hunt at Smallville Comics. That's right, guys, in today's video we're going to be chatting about a hunt that I recently did over at Smallville Comics. Now guys, there isn't any footage from the store in this video, and that is because I was spending all of my time rummaging through awesome pops and chatting to the super friendly and awesome staff who I've become friends with over all my trips to Smallville Comics. Joe running the store, Krista who's been working there since I started going to the store, and more recently Julia, who has just joined the staff a few months ago and is the pop queen over at that store. So she has sorted all the pops out during the lockdown period. She has everything in nice categories, so she's one of my favorite people at the store at the moment. So shout out to all of you guys, you do an amazing job at the store, and it's always so much fun popping in, having a browse, and you can almost never leave Smallville without picking something up. So with that being said, I'm going to show you a few things that I picked up recently on one of my pop hunts over at Smallville, and I went a little crazy, guys. They have some incredible older pieces, guys. So if you're a collector who's new to collecting and you're looking for older pieces to fill out your collection, or to flesh out some different parts of your collection that you may not have, or in the case of today's pops, as you will see as I unbox them, even start a new collection because you never thought you could, and you couldn't get hold of these older figures. So I'm going to show you a few things I picked up that have not been brought in by some of the main suppliers here first off. So I'm a massive Star Wars collector. You guys will know that if you spend any time around the channel, and there haven't been that many pops brought in for the new movie. I know that Gamertech brought in the Kylo Ren, they brought in another BB-8, and they brought in Rey. So I was thankful to Gamertech, who ended up sponsoring one of my videos, and they sent me a Kylo Ren and a BB-8 to review. If you want to check those out, I'll leave that link right up here. They were awesome pops and definitely worth picking up if you can find them out there in the wild somewhere. But there were a few pops that weren't brought in, and I found two of them over at Smallville today, the other day when I was there, that we look at in today's video, that I had to pick up. So first off, guys, a pop that I think everyone who saw the movie, love it or hate it, it's a very divisive, the whole franchise of these last few movies has been very divisive amongst fans, but love it or hate it, I think everyone will love D.O.
I have a squeaky wheel. Squeak eliminated.
So we picked up D.O. and he is just such a cool little figure, guys. There is a 10-inch version of him floating around. This little guy is all I need, and guys, the detail on him is absolutely incredible. I love what they've done with this figure. He's on a Star Wars stand, as all of the Star Wars figures are. This character had so much personality packed into him, despite literally being made of two pieces, that little cone-shaped head and that little ball that he rolls around on. And what I love about him is that, you know, throughout the movie we see them moving through a lot of desert terrain and really getting grungy and dirty, and they've incorporated that into D.O. So you can see all the little like staining and weathering around him, around the bottom of his cone, along the sides of his wheel, running up his wheel, whether it's rust, whether it's dirt. It's just an awesome little feature and a great little touch that they've added for this figure. So I'm in love with D.O. Absolutely thrilled to have him in the collection, and he just about is going to see me finish up my Rise of Skywalker set. I still need Zori Bliss, who I have seen, credit to Gamertech there as well, I have seen Zori Bliss around in some of the stores here. Haven't picked her up yet, but that is one I'm definitely looking for. So that was the first one we picked up, guys. Again, I said I picked up two from the Rise of Skywalker. The second one I picked up is the Sith Jet Trooper. Now he is really cool, guys. I dig this figure, and the reason I picked this guy up is because, as you will know from the movie, there were two like sort of new stormtroopers introduced to us. One of them was the Jet Trooper, which we've seen in other iterations of Star Wars, but hadn't really seen in the movie franchises. So this one covers the Jet Trooper, and you'll see when we take him out of the box the jetpack on his back, but it also covers the Sith Trooper, which, if you guys are in the Funko world and know Star Wars Funko Pops, that Sith Trooper is worth an unadulterated fortune. It came out as some sort of special, I think a Star Wars celebration, and it's just skyrocketed in price. So let's have a look at this guy. I love the red. That was one of the main reasons I picked up this figure. If you've been collecting Star Wars pops, you will have a load of stormtroopers in your collection, and this guy's kind of a cross between a Praetorian Guard or one of the Emperor's Guards and a stormtrooper, which I really thought was cool. And then of course we have the addition of that jetpack, which is nicely detailed and stuck on his back there. There's some nice little detailing. in the mask, in the facial features, in the rifle, just what you've come to actually really expect from a lot of these new Star Wars figures. So I'm thrilled with him, happy to open that collection, and as I said, I'm nearing the completion of my Rise of Skywalker set. There are a number of figures that I will not be picking up. I don't need another Poe in my collection, I don't need another Finn, I don't need another Lando. I have ordered a Janna, but I ordered it from Raru.
Serious?
Exactly. So she might arrive, she might not. It could take a while. And I've got a Rose, don't need another Rose in the collection. And then of course there is Lieutenant Connix, who had a really small role in the movie, and I'm not quite sure why they went to the effort of making a pop for her. But to each their own. There will be Star Wars completionists out there who'll be wanting to pick those up. And to all of you, I say good luck. And as always, guys, collect what you like. So enjoy it, guys. If you're into collecting and trying to complete sets, that's what you need to do, and that's how you need to go about it. By all means, I'm behind you, I back you, and enjoy it, guys. That's what collecting's all about at the end of the day. That's why we do it. We have a passion for it. We love Funko, we love our fandoms, and you want something to express your fandom, excuse me, and just to enjoy. So don't ever feel, you know, that there's a specific way you have to collect. If you want to complete your sets, and other people judge you for it, you know, some people won't start collecting Star Wars because it's such a massive fandom and there's so much to collect. I'm of the opinion, collect what you like. So go in there and enjoy it. Next up, guys, we have another figure that I've been looking for quite a while. I saw it come out, I saw it released, and once I saw it released, I knew I would have to get it when it eventually came out, and Smallville had it in stock, so I eventually pulled the trigger and picked it up. And as a Game of Thrones fan, it is Hodor holding the door. Doing his job, doing his namesake proud, or doing his name proud, and here he is, guys. He is an incredibly well detailed figure, and that is just really everything in this figure. The fact that he is so well detailed, we have the hands grasping through the door to grab him, they've got the scarring on his face. When I was looking in the store, I was looking at different versions of him, or different versions of the pop to pick up, and I've noticed across all of them that he's even got scarring that they haven't bloodied on the side of his face, which you'll recognize from the earlier pop of him. So they've even incorporated that detail into this. He stands beautifully on this. He's almost like a bookend. If you had two of these, you could have Hodor holding up your books, which would be really cool. But I, of course, just picked up the one, and he's going to go with my Game of Thrones set, and I will find a nice place for him to stand and hold up my collection as Hodor. So I absolutely love this character. It was such a heart-wrenching scene, guys. For all of us Game of Thrones fans, I think we all fell in love with Hodor from the first time we saw him, and for his story to come full circle and for us to see that he basically knew what his destiny was the whole time was really gut-wrenching, and I think it just grew our love for the character so much more. Then, guys, last up, as I have said earlier in this video, Smallville has a knack for, especially in my case, making me start new collections. So I will say I'm not collecting a certain line just yet because I want to finish another line, or I have rules for myself in my collecting. If you want to see some of my collecting rules and ways that I suggest you go about collecting, I did make a how-to video for collecting Funko Pops, because if you try to get into this, it can be really overwhelming. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to it up here as well. Go check it out and let me know what you think about those how-to tips and any tips that you have for how you're collecting, because we're at the end of the day, we're a collecting community, guys. That's what we're all about. So we want to make sure we're sharing our ideas, we're sharing our passion, and that's what this YouTube channel and that's what this community is all about. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's go back to what I picked up. So, as I said, guys, Smallville is home to a lot of older Funko Pops, a lot of Funko Pops from collections that I never thought I would start collecting. I collected my Smurfs through them. I collected my Peanuts figures, which if I do a duck, you will see all my Peanuts figures there. I collected those through Smallville, and lots of stuff that you know, as a South African collector or a collector who's new, you will go through Pop Price Guide and see all these old figures that you think, geez, I wish I could get my hands on them. And that's what happened with these. I picked up 4 of these figures, vaulted figures, which some comic book stores will go ahead and hike the prices on their vaulted pops through the roof. Smallville hasn't done. So yeah, massive props to them for not going ahead and spiking the price on these just because they're vaulted. You can see our Julian Oza pops on Pop Price Guide. These are all around I bought pretty much just above pop price guide value, which makes sense because they're vaulted figures and they're difficult to get. And that's another thing, guys, I don't mind paying a little bit more than what it's worth on pop price guide, because the South African market is very different. You have to take into account the fact that it's vaulted, how it was shipped into the country, all those kinds of things. So definitely keep that in mind when you are buying as a South African collector. But anyways, guys, enough of the suspense. Let's see what I actually picked up. I've been talking for a while, I'm not showing you anything. I found one pop that led me to another that led me to another. So first off, I found Bernie.
Well, okay, old buddy, why didn't you just say so?
Sitting in a corner, all by himself. And guys, I never thought I'd collect Sesame Street. It's just it's one of those things that I think for all of us is a huge part of our childhood. And we picked up Bernie. So Bernie, awesome little figure. He's got his duck. And you know, he's a simple figure. That's what these, to me, these are all about. These guys came out way back in 2015. I say way back, I mean, it's only about 5 years ago, but with everything that's been going on this year, I think 2 weeks ago feels like a long time. So he came out back in 2015, and he's a really cool figure, guys. I love the smile. I love the fact that I've got into doing mouths for all of the Sesame Street pops. In fact, they've done really nice mouths on them, which, as we know, for Funkos is not something they generally do. They generally just focus on the eyes and getting as much expression and detail into those as they can. So picked up Ernie first up, and guys, what is Ernie without Bert?
Was that me? No, it was my Aunt Matilda. Yes, it was me knocking at the door. I've been standing out there a long time.
Yeah, Bert and Ernie, the iconic duo. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what more iconic duos are. Bert and Ernie, and I thought, you know what? There's Bert, there's Ernie. At least got to pick up these two because just the two of them will fit together nicely in the collection. Now Bert reminds me kind of, he always reminded me of Bananas in Pajamas, just for some reason. I think, and this figure kind of drives that home. But he is just such a cool figure. I love the monobrow. The monobrow is so Bert that you know you just can't escape it. And he's got the cool little the hair on top there. He's got the nice clean paint job on the stripes, and just, you know, again, a simply done figure but really well done, and just brings back those childhood memories that I think we all have from watching Sesame Street as kids. Then, guys, as I was making my way through, I thought, you know, at least I'll have Bert and Ernie, and those two will come together nicely, and that forms a nice little set for me. And just as I was thinking that, I looked up a shelf, and there waiting for me was Super Grover. Oh! Now, guys, Super Grover was the first Sesame Street pop. So you can see on the back here, he is number 1, and they hadn't even put the rest of the line onto the back of the box yet. They did say, look for more Funko figures coming soon, and then they talk about Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch, etc, etc. This guy is a bit of a controversial one in terms of figuring out what he's worth. Because this Super Grover is worth, I'll put the pop PPG value, but he's around 100, between 150 and 200 Rand. And that's what I pretty much paid for him at the store. But there is another version of him. If you scan the barcode, it takes you to him on the Funko app. That is the first release edition, and that is worth, I think, 1,500 Rand. So if you've got a little sticker on your Super Grover, he's worth a lot more than the Super Grover right here. There are also flocked versions. They've done flocked versions of almost all of these Sesame Street characters. But again, guys, this is just to me about collecting something that means a lot to me from my childhood, and some great memories of just sitting at home, you know, watching cartoons in the morning, watching Sesame Street, having my eating cereal in my pajamas, and just chilling. I love his nose. Again, the mouth on this is awesome. I love his helmet. The detailing is really cool, and they've really painted the G on his chest for the Super Grover really nicely. A little bit of a, not even a paint flaw, they've actually even gone in and written, what does it say? I can't see what it says. There's something written in red on his little G. Guys, if you know what that is, let me know in the comments down below. I can't even see what that is. There's something in red written on that little G, which is really cool. And I love this figure, guys. He's really cool. He's got the little rubber, the bands around his around his wrists, even to hold that cape in place. And just a figure that I saw him and had to add him. Then last up, guys, again from Sesame Street, they had 2 of these in stock. So if you're looking for these, they still had a few in stock. So I think they still had 1 or 2 Grovers. They had 1 more of this one I'm about to show you, and they had 2 or 3 of Bert and Ernie. So definitely go ahead and pick those. Contact them. I'll leave their details here down below. You can contact them by Facebook. You can give the store a call. and they do have an online store as well, so go check out all those different mediums and ways you can interact with them. They also take pre-orders, guys, so they are, as much as they have older stuff like this, they are also at the edge of having, you know, newer stuff coming in, the cutting edge, we'll say, of Funko collecting. So I have 2 things on pre-order with them that I'm waiting to come in. Cannot wait to get hold of those, and of course, once they come in, I will review them for you right here on What's Popping. But anyways, guys, the last figure I picked up is Oscar the Grouch.
Ah, look who's here. Well, don't say anything, just listen up. You might just learn something.
And he is just such a fun figure. That is pretty much all I can say. They have captured the essence of this character so very well with this pop. I mean, he's got his trash can, he's got the little worm that lives next to his trash can there at the bottom. His sign is his scram. He doesn't want anybody around. He's Oscar the Grouch, and he's popped his head out of the dustbin or out of the trash can, however you want to, whichever reference you want to use for it. And he's just absolutely adorable. As much as he's a Grouch, he's still a lovable character, and that's what they've captured in the personality of this figure, and what I really, really adore about this figurine in particular. What I don't know is how he fits back into the dustbin. That is something I'm not sure. He is fluffy, maybe he just compresses and goes back down, but that's part of the fun of these Funko figures, guys. They are stylized, and they don't have to make sense, which is why we collect them and why we have so much fun with them. Guys, now thanks to Smallville, I'm looking for a couple more pops. I need to try and figure out how I can get my hands on Big Bird, Elmo, and Cookie Monster. Those are the ones I want for the Sesame Street collection. But that is my problem, and if I come up with a solution for it, I will let you know, and I'll do a video to tell you all about how I came up with those 3 new grails for my collection. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite pop from this video was. I'm always keen to hear from you. If you want to go check out those other videos I referenced, head up here, go check them out, and guys, go ahead and do all the YouTube cliches. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you are new here and you want to see more content, hit the subscribe button, ring the notifications bell, and if you do that, I'll be sure to see you in the next video.